How are you doing with the whimsical phrase? Are you keeping track of the code words to form the whimsical phrase at the end of the hop to win prizes? Hi everyone, Patty here for day 22. I hope you are, because our admins have been working hard behind the scenes to put this all together. We'll be making a few more fun pieces to use in our journal with acetate, because as you saw in the first video with making the cover for this journal, we used acetate behind our window and our whimsical girl behind the window panes, with just her eyes and lips showing. Love that cover. You need a piece of acetate to add some alcohol inks to the page. I just dropped the ink directly onto the acetate. You could use some alcohol blending solution to help move this around and blend it better. When you cut smaller pieces from the page, you don't really see that it is blobs on the acetate. In the video, I'm showing the Ranger alcohol inks, but I did purchase some, and I have to say, not all alcohol inks are the same. The ones I'm demonstrating are translucent, and the ones I purchased that are more in my colors for this journal are a matte finish. You can't see through them like I would have liked, but in the end, they made my wings gorgeous, if you ask me. You need to let your acetate dry after you've dropped the alcohol inks onto the page. It dries fairly fast. So after this is dried, I cut my wings out using a die cut. Again, I used my die cutting machine and cut out some butterflies. If you don't have a die cutting machine, you can just trace around a butterfly and cut it out. If you trace the butterfly from a fussy cut image or stencil, I would use a silver or gold Sharpie. That way you don't have to be perfect in cutting out the butterfly. And if the gold edge or silver shows, it will add interest to your piece. I used a Posca pen, but it smeared a bit. It was in pink, so you can't really tell. Here I'm showing how I just traced around a stenciled butterfly with my Posca pen. Then you're going to want to put the wings down onto a mat, like your glass mat or something that can heat up without melting anything underneath it. Heat the wings up till they just start to curl. You don't want to heat it too much or they will just curl right up and you will just have a ball of acetate. So just slowly heat around the edges until just the edges start to curl. I like to add some feelers or antennas to my layers and sandwich the antennas between the die-cut acetate and the one you cut out. Mine are cut out from a magazine cover that had the colors I'm working on. The acetate is hard to glue, so you need to add a clamp or set a rock on top of it to get it to dry in the place you want it. I have some gorgeous rocks that my niece made me that work great for weighing items down to dry. A quick flip through to find the page to add some of my butterflies. For this page I cut out one of the flowers with an X-Acto knife around the edge and used it for a hidden pocket. Remember from watching me put this journal together, the pages are 2 pages glued together only around the outside edges, and then cut in half to form the small journal I'm working in. That makes it perfect for cutting through one layer of page around the flower to add a tag or journaling card. Just make sure you don't go all the way through both layers. I added a little mat that if it did go through, it would cut into it before it would go onto my next page. Here is a wraparound pocket. I'm putting together a quick video on how I made this wraparound pocket with magnets to hold the pages closed in the future. One of our hidden vellum pockets will add one of the journaling cards that we put the pull tab on the right side so we can easily pull the card in and out. It is a leaf die cut that I backed with 2 pieces to make it thicker. I had to cut one out in reverse so the 2 dies would fit together to make it stronger. And that makes it double-sided, because you will see it from both sides of the page. I love this digital with the gorgeous flower blossoms. I believe Sakura in Japanese is cherry blossoms and the tree they bloom on. Paperomia really captured that with this kit. I took one of the whimsical girls and fussy cut around her, cutting off her wings as I wanted to add my butterfly wings with the alcohol ink and acetate pieces to her. I added a piece of dyed cheesecloth behind her to help her stand out on the page. When I glued her down, I made sure her wings stuck out over the page just a bit so you can see them when the journal is closed, making sure they aren't in the way of my wraparound tie that I'm using for a closure on this journal. I added glue to the page and adhered the cheesecloth to the page, added more glue to the girl, and used a clamp to securely hold her in place till the glue dries. Let's keep flipping through the pages and see what else we can add. This cluster we only glued down on 3 sides of the flower, so we can add a tag perfectly in the center of the flower. What about another butterfly on this page? I pulled some thread in pink and another multicolored thread with a variation of pinks, purples, and white to add behind this butterfly. Wad the thread up all into a little ball and flatten out so you can see portions of the thread underneath the butterfly. More layers and interest to our page. Again, you will have to add a clamp to keep this from moving around and adhere to the page while drying. We are into the second signature, so I will add another whimsical girl with my butterfly acetate wings to this page. She will have some of this thread behind her also. I love how the wings and thread all hang over the edges of the pages. Here's our second vellum page that we will add our tea bag journaling card to. This one opens from the left, so I will find her in my stash of printed tea bags. On the other side of the page we have a shaker pocket flower that I only glued 3 sides down, and a tag fits into it nicely. I still have a lot of pockets that are hidden between the pages that I can add something to. I have 2 butterflies on the center page. I did notice with having 2 on pages next to each other that the threads can get tangled in the curled up acetate, so I need to be very careful to open the pages and not rip something. This is a flip down page. I will be showing more in a later video. I have 1 more butterfly to add to a page, but for today we're putting together a gorgeous journal with the digitals from paperomia and dodoquill. Thanks for watching, and don't forget the secret word for today for your whimsical phrase you are electing to win prizes. Bye for now.